We are here at Multimedia Resource Training Institute at 23rd Jackson. Today we have a guest from the city of Seattle, Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs. He is a young person who grew up here. Currently, I think he has been here in 1 year from OIRA.
Yeah,
OIRA.
I'm working with the OIRA for a year almost.
A year. He is new for the program, but he has been here for a long time. He grew up in Seattle. Actually, he worked for different organizations, including Horn of Africa Service, and hope he will tell us what your experience is. But currently, he represents ORA and talk about the mega shop, which is going to be in February.
Yes.
So can you tell us your name and your roles?
Yes, actually, first of all, I actually grew up mostly in Colorado. And
Colorado.
I came here in 2007 after I graduated from the University of Colorado and been here, obviously, 10 years? Plus, like 10 years now. So I've loved Seattle. Obviously Seattle embraced me as, my home, as a child of its own. And I love the fact that, this is a great city, even though a lot of people outside of Seattle complain about the rain, but this is a place that I love. I'm not complaining about snow because that's what I lived in before when I was in Colorado during the winters. But, being at the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs is great. We're a very diverse office with people from different backgrounds, and I feel like I'm in a United Nations group, which is really awesome. It's a blessing, and I have a team that's very, very supportive. But also with the community, what we do, we try to help them understand that this is a welcoming city. Seattle is a city for all, documented and undocumented.
Okay. Still, I see you as a young person.
Yes, I am.
And,
yes.
I don't know, you said you came in 2007?
2007 to Seattle from Colorado. From Colorado, I've been there since I was young, before I was a teenager. So, being in America for a while, growing up here and understanding the system is something that, I like. But at the same time, we all miss home, right? You miss Ethiopia, I miss Somalia, and we came here because of different situations. But, being in Colorado was great growing up there, and coming to Seattle was a different dynamic, obviously with the weather and everything. But also us being in a community that's progressive, that, is for other people who, we're diverse, having a zip code not too far from here, 98118, after the census, us being told that, it was the most diverse zip code in the country, that is something that I was proud of. And my mom actually also moved up here earlier before I moved to Seattle, and she lives in the 98118 zip code, so that's something that, we championed diversity. And it's really a great piece. And being at the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs is really great because we have different initiatives, different programs, and we try to be very culturally responsive because we are immigrants and we want to serve our families the best way possible.
Yeah, it is good to see as East African, representing East African in the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs, because we don't see, many East Africans. Mm-hmm. And when you see the population, it is really huge. East Africans are dominantly now in the Seattle area, but we don't have that much, representatives. So I think you are very few still, and we need more of, representation to see, especially our people there engaging. And it's great to see you are working there. But we need more people. And how do you see representation on that area?
Well, with our office, I see a great representation. OIRA, like I said, it speaks to what Seattle is as a very diverse community. Because we have, API folks, you have me, the East African population, and we have different folks in the community in the office. So it's very representative of Seattle. And that's why with our office, obviously we appreciate the fact that when we do programs, we look at those programs from a culturally appropriate lens. So, being a Somali there, that's great being an East African there. But one thing that I also want to tell people is OIRA always looks at programs on how it's going to serve the people. Just as a journalist yourself, sometimes you want to tell a story and you want to go beyond the lens. Really understand people. That's how our office is when it comes to community engagement and other things. And I think I shared with you before that we have this factor when we're doing community engagement. We have the ROR piece, which is the return on relationship. When we go in to serve people, to talk to them, we want to create relationships. We want to be authentic. We just don't go out because, hey, we're doing a program, come join us, this is what we have. No, we go beyond that. We want to keep that relationship versus probably other places. So one thing that we really champion is creating authentic relationships and serving the communities from a grassroots level all the way up.
So, I think it is good to have this department, but the issue, especially nowadays, is very huge, affecting immigrant communities. And when there are issues, always it came to your office because there is no still solution for some of the things that's going on. So how is your expectation or how is your experience working with immigrants and refugees?
Working with immigrants and refugees from a community-based level to now the city of Seattle, I see it almost a little bit similar. But working at OIRA, also understanding that we are advocates and we're not service-based. Like, we don't give services like community-based organizations. We support community. We'll try to push for policy issues and stuff like that because we really want to see our communities served. But also one thing that I want to tell our community in general is we also have to be involved. Like when it comes to programs, like we had great we had a community session regarding ICE. We want everyone to show up and make sure that, the community understands what's happening. And of course, we do have people who come and talk about, this and this is not happening. We just all need to work together. We're in the same community. We're facing the same issues. We all want to solve the same problems. So I think it's a great thing for people to also understand, hey, this is what the department is doing that's great, and this is what's happening out there. How can we all work together as a community to solve some of the problems that we have?
So immigrants, in order to get benefits, or in terms of just get involved, be a citizen, and
Yes.
be voting, voting. I think citizenship is very important.
Yes.
But how is your outreach to bring more people to and be a citizen?
Yes. So thank you so much for asking that question. As a matter of fact, we have a team that does the citizenship work, and they're really doing great. Christina in our department, we got Elsa, we got Megan, Nee, and we have folks who basically are creating a piece that our director, Ku, promotes, and it's the Mega Workshop that's about to happen. It's going to be February 3rd at the Seattle Center's exhibition hall, making sure that our communities are served when it comes to being citizens. As we know that this process is not cheap, it's expensive, from a range of $1,000 to $5,000. When we do the Mega Workshop for Citizenship, it's free. We make sure that, when people come, and this coming year, we have a goal of serving up to 1,000 people. We had successful engagements with the community whereby we did have a Mega Workshop before, and we've had citizenship clinics such as Horn of Africa being one of the groups that did a citizenship clinic with the Catholic Community Services and other groups like the Filipino community as well. And these are clinics that was for our communities, and they were placed in the communities, even the Korean community services as well, making sure that people get these services that are not cheap. They're expensive, so we want to give it to the community for free with the little support that we have, because citizenship is a very important piece, as you know. We have a lot of folks who have their green cards, and some folks are being deported because of misdemeanor charges, right? So we want to make sure that people really take advantage of the opportunities that we're offering and other places are offering as well, so that they can become citizens. To talk about the Mega Workshops that we're going to have, it's on February 3rd, Seattle Center's exhibition hall. Obviously, people have to come prepared, have to be at least 18 years of age, have to have their green card for 5 years. And also another piece is if they're married to a U.S. citizen, then they should have just had their green card for 3 years. So it's basic requirements. We have attorneys who are going to be present to help with the legal pieces and to answer questions as well. But one thing that we tell people is when they come for the Mega Workshop for the citizenship, they should come prepared. They should come with documentation, the proofs, and all that stuff. As we all know how the N-400 form is not a very easy process to navigate. That's why a lot of people need legal services, right? So for OIRA, what we do is we try to make it easy for folks. And also another piece of having this culturally appropriate lens that we always promote is we are going to have translators. It doesn't matter if you speak Spanish, Somali, Tigrinya, Amharic, Oromifa, or other languages, Tagalog. We will have people ready who are going to sit down. It's going to be the lawyer, the interpreter, and the person being served who is wanting to become a citizen, and all those are going to be there for people. So we want people in our community to take advantage of these opportunities.
So it's going to be February 3rd?
It's going to be February 3rd.
And it's a Saturday?
Yes.
From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.?
Yes, sir.
So they're going to be translators, they're going to be lawyers?
Yes.
And they have all the options?
They have all the options. I always tell people to come prepared. come with all the documentation that's needed for you, to file the N-400 form. And yes, there are going to be free legal services. When was the last time you heard there was going to be a mega workshop and there's going to be free citizenship? It doesn't happen a lot. So I feel like our community should really take advantage of this opportunity. It's one of the best ones. And one thing that we should put it out there in bold for everyone, even for those watching this show. And thank you, MMRTI has been a great piece of our community, creating an ethnic media piece that is culturally responsive. I know we don't have a lot of media groups like you, so I really commend you for what you have done in our community. And really, also going beyond the lens by going to community, because I've seen you doing outreach with the East African population and also advocating for other communities. We should put it in bold out there. This mega workshop is free. It's free for people. You come there, you will be served. Because Seattle is a city for all. Everyone it's a welcoming city. People are not going to be discriminated against in this community. Like, that's how we want to be as a city. It's a welcoming city for everyone, whether you are documented or undocumented. And that's what we want for people to understand.
So this is once a year workshop, I think. But to those people, as you see, East Africans, it's hard to bring to, certain dates.
Yes.
You have to be, because they work 2-3 jobs, maybe they might be unable to come on that day.
Yes.
How is your workshop, on a continuous basis, or, is there any other opportunities just to engage? Immigration, especially citizenship is very important, where immigration issues now really very visible.
Yes.
So how do you see that? Is there any other opportunities beyond, the workshop to engage communities and teach, educate about citizenship?
Well, thank you so much, Asai, because yes, we do live in a different world now with Trump's administration. And, citizenship is very important because there are things that you can get and navigate through the community as a citizen that sometimes might be harder as a LPR, a legal permanent resident, or someone who doesn't even have that, who's an asylee, right? So one thing is, of course, we're going to have the mega workshops, but we would like also people to ask questions if there's workshops happening around the city, just like, I mentioned before, we did have the mega workshop, but after the mega workshops, we ended up having clinics in different areas of our community so that people can still go and get their citizenship. Keep an eye out, ask questions. We're going to do our outreach to go to the CBOs that we partner with to tell them, hey, please hand out these flyers about the citizenship pieces, because like last year, this year, it was just not all about the mega workshop. We went far beyond that and just did the community ones, right? The clinics, so they are smaller and also culturally responsive, just like our mega workshop, making sure that there's interpreters, and it's being done by the community, right? And for the community. So, of course, when they come to the mega workshops, some of the questions are going to be answered. I always say, reach out to Christina, girls from our department, and you can always, and Elsa, who does a great job as well, and we will try to give you answers. And if we cannot give you an answer, we'll find an answer for you and the community.
Yeah, being you there working as a, Office of Immigrant Refugee Office, I don't know what your position is. Your background is journalism. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, that's what a lot of people don't know. My bachelor's is in broadcast news journalism because I did have a great appreciation for journalism. At the Office of Immigrant Refugee Affairs, obviously, I am a community relations specialist. Maha, who's my colleague, actually also has a background in journalism, and she's the policy person for language access. Joaquin is doing journalism. So it's a beautiful piece seeing that, yes, as people who have a background in journalism, we have that appreciation of, people and the stories and stuff like that, and also narratives, because we all have our own narratives, right? And we want to share those and stuff like that. So I believe that journalism is something that sticks with you. And with journalism being out there right now, even anyone with a cell phone can be a journalist. By covering stories, how many things have we seen happening? It changed the landscape of journalism. And also like what you're doing, going beyond the lens. We live in a global village. So when I was studying journalism at the University of Colorado, obviously we understood how, the television itself is a global village, because a kid in Zambia sometimes can see the same thing the kid in South Korea sees, or a kid in Harlem, New York. So journalism is a piece that I had an appreciation for since I was a child, before I came to America. And then growing up and understanding that this is what I want to do. I feel like even if I'm not, doing interviews or being a journalist, per se, I still have appreciation for it. I feel like I still tell a story as a journalist does, and I will always have an appreciation for the field. And also, anytime I have, I can also come and, assist and be, partly with you, working on some stuff, great stuff, because you work with youth, and they love media because of you. Them thinking that, hey, this is something I saw on TV, but guess what? Now I'm the one doing this. That's something that you guys. So how many kids have you empowered to go actually become journalists? So that's something that people in the community like me can look at and say, hey, how can we help Asai?
Yeah, I think really we would like to invite you guys, especially who have journalism background,
Yes.
because as you said, really it make a difference,
Yes.
especially for the young people who are studying journalism, who are involved in community issues and
Yes.
be a voice for the community.
Yes.
This is one way, hopefully, maybe we will invite you guys and have a conversation.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much. I think that's all for today, and maybe we'll invite him another time and more conversation with young people.
Thank
you.